What's up, everyone? This is Bill. Today I got a little video for you guys. My Can-Am Ryker 900 Ace that you seen there in the intro is right about 6,000 miles now. So it's time to change the oil, do our first little service on it. So we are going to be changing the oil with this. This is XPS lubricants. This is what Can-Am would use from the factory. And this is 540. And it is for the 900 Ace. Okay, so this is a complete kit. I went and bought an extra quart just in case down the road we need it. So we have some out here in the shop. Okay, so I'll show you what all this kit comes with. Okay, you got this little guy in the package here. You see everything is kind of BRP branded as well. So that is your oil filter. Okay, that can be found right underneath the hood. So it already does have the springs in there and everything, so literally drop in oil filter. Of course, we're going to oil around the O-ring there. Set that aside. Okay, we got 1 quart, 2 quart, 3 quart. I believe this little guy, 16 fluid ounces. Okay, and then in here, looks like we got 2 sets, O-ring and the crush washers. Kind of cool they gave us 2 sets. I don't know. Oil, rotate, copper washer. Yeah. Huh. If you've used this kit, it doesn't say. It says included is synthetic blend oil, Rotex oil filter, copper washer, O-rings. So if you've used this kit, let me know if it came with 2 sets or if I just got lucky. Anyway, so that is the complete kit. I will put the price here up on the screen. I bought this from a local Can-Am dealership here, but you can order this online. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it pretty much everywhere if you look it up. And they make a kit for the 600 and they make one for the 900 motor. So this is going to work in your rally as well. Okay. So, we'll show you all the tools that you'll need. You need a torque wrench that goes to inch pounds. Okay, you're going to need a torque wrench that goes to foot pounds. You're going to need a small pick, something like that. Maybe you might need this to get the oil, the O-ring off of the old one. You will need some kind of plastic pry tool. This is to lift the oil filter up. You'll need a 17mm socket. That's for your main drain plug. You'll need a T40 torque spit. That's for the secondary plug. You'll need some extensions. You'll need an 8mm socket. Okay, that's the tools that you'll need to do the job. Again, I'll put the torque specs up here on the screen so you guys can see that. And I'll let you take a look at that. These are torque specs straight out of the book from BRP. Okay, on with the show. Also, don't forget you will need a funnel, probably some latex gloves, and a pan to drain your oil into. Okay, you will need those as well. So in this video, I will just be doing the oil change. Obviously, we're going to get the bike warm, so we're going to let it warm up for maybe let it warm up for 10 minutes or so, and then we'll shut it off and let it sit for a minute so everything cools down. But we want the oil warm so it will flow out easier. And then I will have a second video, there'll be a link in the description below this one, on how to properly check the oil, because there is a procedure to actually checking the oil. So I'm going to do a separate video on that. But if you're at 6,000 miles, you need to do your oil change. That's everything I'm going to cover in this video. If you're looking to check the oil and how to check the oil properly per BRP, then check the link in the description below this video, and I'll put that in there. Okay, so let's head out to the bike. Okay, here we are. This is my 2019 Can-Am Ryker 900 Ace. Pretty much fully loaded. It's got everything you would ever want on it. Okay, so the first part that we are going to do is get the bike up in the air. We want it sitting level, and then we're going to pull the drain plugs and let it drain out into a pan. And then while it's draining, we'll let it drain until it starts just dripping, and then we'll come up here and change the oil filter itself. Okay, so let's get her up on some ramps here, and we'll get it ready to go. Okay, so there she is. We got her up on the ramps here. These are some Rhino ramps. They are rated at 12,000 pounds. I'll put a link to those in the description as well. And then we have a jack stand, which is underneath the rear shock housing. Okay, that is your safest place to lift up that rear end. So now we have the bike level. Okay, so now we can get underneath of it very easily. And remember, if you're jacking up that back end, always use a jack stand. Okay, so let's get the hood off, and then let's climb under the bike. I'll show you what it looks like underneath there. Okay, so on your hood, you're gonna have a clip here and a clip here. You stick your finger underneath of them and push up. There's like little fingers that lock in place. So you're gonna lift up on them. You'll feel them, they can move around, they're real springy. Okay, you're gonna lift up, slide down. There you go. So that's these right here that I'm lifting up on. Okay, so the hood latches inside there. This locks it when you lift it up, unlock. Okay, so we'll get the hood off and set that in a safe place. Now I'll show you where the oil filter is. Okay, so if you come under the hood from the front here, it's actually on the left hand side facing the bike, so it looks like it's on the right, but this is where your oil filter is. Okay, and once this gets to where it's cool enough to where we can hold our hand on it, let's see, we're good to go as far as changing the oil. Okay, it does have 3 bolts that you're gonna have to take out. Okay, so if you're underneath the bike, right, I'm at the back end of the bike. There's the front wheels. There's our skid plate. Okay, you can see you have some holes here where it would be on the 600, holes up here where it is on the 900. Okay, so the bigger one, that is the primary. Smaller one is the secondary. Okay, so the bolts for the drain plugs are a 17 millimeter and a T40 Torx. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. Secondary is 40 Torx, and the primary is a 17 millimeter. And we got rain. Look, we got the cover. All right, so let's get down there. We'll unbolt those, let it drain out into the drain pan. Okay, so now that we got them both out, you see down here, still trickling just a little bit. All right. Okay, so we got them both out. Oil's drained pretty much. We're gonna let it sit like that for 10 minutes, let everything get out of it. And then we are going to unbolt the cap on the oil filter. That is gonna be our second step here. We have both drain plugs out of there. Okay, the secondary and the primary. We removed the primary first, secondary next. And now we're going to remove the cap on the oil filter. Okay, so I'll show you that, and then we will get that oil filter out of there, and we'll get that guy changed out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to take out is these 3 screws right here. You have 1, 2, and if you move this hose, you can get to that 3rd one right there. These are going to get bolted back down to torque spec. and we'll put what BRP says in their book up on screen. Torque spec for these is 80 inch-pounds, so you will need to use your inch-pound torque wrench. So 80 inch-pounds plus or minus 9 inch-pounds. Okay, so we're going to take that off. We're going to pull the filter out. Those 3 screws that we're taking out will be a T30 Torx or an 8mm socket. Okay, you can use either. Okay, I got my 3 bolts out. Just going to give a little twist and pull. Should come out nice and easy. Okay, so here's a close-up of what that looks like, and as you can see, oil dripped off the side of it when we pulled it off. So you're going to want to have some napkins ready, you know. And the one thing you don't want to do is open this up first before you get your drain plugs going, because then this will be full of oil, and oil will go everywhere. You will make a mess. Okay, so do this as your second step. Get the oil draining, let it drain for about 5 minutes. You can go ahead and pull this off, let the oil finish draining for 10 minutes. Put your new oil filter in, put your bolts on, add oil. Okay, so we're going to get that guy out of there. I'll show you a little trick. You can use this little pry tool, little plastic pry tool, because it's very hard to get a hold of it in there. So we're going to use this little pry tool, and you can see there I can lift it up out of there, and then I'll grab hold of it. Okay, so let's get that guy out of there. We got us a little bucket to throw it in when we get it out of there. So like I said, we can get it with a pry tool. Get it up out of there with a pry tool. There we go, I got it in my hand. Trying to get oil everywhere. Easier said than done. The Ryker has a very tight spaces here, so there we go. We did spill a couple drops, so you want to just make sure you wipe down everything really good when you're done. All right, we can get behind here. Try to wipe down everything really good. Remember, if you did get oil anywhere, expect to see a little smoke when the engine gets hot. It will burn it off, but it will also look like crap, so we'll go back and clean this up. We'll probably use a little degreaser and clean it all up when we're done. Best we can. Okay. So there we go, we got our filter out. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to put that filter in. First thing we're gonna do, we have our cap here, and you can see my O-ring stuck here. It may still be on the actual motor, so just look and see where it is. If you can't get it off, you can use a little pick tool. We're gonna toss it out anyway. So you wanna take that guy off, clean this surface up, and we have that new O-ring soaking in brand new oil. So we're gonna put it on there, get it all oil covered, put it on there, and then we are also going to put oil on the end of the filter and put the filter back in. Per BRP's instructions, it doesn't say anywhere that you have to fill the oil filter with oil. I know it's a paper filter, so oil passes right through it. Okay, on a car with a metal canister oil filter, you would fill it up with oil before you put it on. So we will put oil on the end of it and stick it in there. Okay, so for our new oil filter here, we have some oil, brand new oil in here. Just gonna get oil around the end here, just so it's lubed up enough to go on there. All right, so we want everything inside here to be lubed up. And per BRP manual instructions, that's what it says to do. Okay, and there's your part number for your oil filter. 956123. Okay, so now we'll get this dropped down inside there, and we'll push it in all the way. Everything looks clean inside. Oil is all drained out. Okay, so you'll know when it's in the right spot. It doesn't matter what way it's orientated, like turned, but it should be dead center, and it should be a squeeze to get it right down on there. Okay. So now, wipe down the edges so you can see everything in here. Now we'll put our cap back on. We have our O-ring on the cap. Okay, we have it nice and seated on there. Got oil on it. So now we're going to offset the little holes, push down, we're going to twist. This will get that O-ring to seat down in there. You want to be careful you don't pinch that O-ring. Right, so I mean you should be able to get it to lay flush on here. And twist and line up. There we go. So now we know our O-ring is sealed in there, right? So now we're going to take our bolts. We're going to get them started here. Oil's been draining for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes now. It's the only one that is hard to get to is this front one. So if you can get that in there and get a couple threads going, you get a socket on it. Okay, so we'll get this guy all snugged up loosely right now, and we'll come back and we'll put the torque wrench and we'll torque it down to torque specs. Pull this hose out of the way and get this one up. Get this one on there. It's a little more challenging. Well, altogether, this job will, I'll give yourself an hour. I mean, as you do it, you know, the next time and the next time, it's gonna take less time. Like I said, this is my first time doing it. Now, one thing you want to make sure is that you're tightening these evenly. So right now, again, I'm just gonna, get them hand tight. I'm gonna snug them up. All right, we're not gonna reef on them too much. We'll come back and we'll get them down to torque specs. And you will see a little oil, seep right here when you do this. So you're going to want to have yourself some paper towels. Get yourself a roll of paper towels. Because this job on the Ryker, with there being so little room for air, because everything's such a tight space. So get yourself a roll of paper towels. And just be ready. Don't be mad or kick yourself if you, do make a mess. Just use precautions and clean it up. Best case scenario is to clean it up immediately. You see oil dripping or anything, stop what you're doing, come back and clean it up. Okay, you'll be happy you did that later on. Okay, so now we got that cover on. We do need to torque it down still. We're going to get our drain bolts in. Okay, so let's get this torque down first. We'll go grab the torque wrench. Okay, so we got our torque wrench. We got it at 80 inch-pounds. We're going to torque these guys down. There we go. Okay, do not over tighten them. They call it torque specs for a reason. It is literally what it's supposed to be at. Okay. That's it for the oil filter and our cover. We'll go through and we'll wipe down any residual oil We get all that off of there. We'll hop down to the bottom of the bike and get the drain plugs in. This is the main drain plug, and it is a magnetic drain plug. So you can see there, you can see that it's got a lot. Let's see if we can get a light on it. Alright, you can see the shininess. So it does have metal shavings on it, so that's to be expected, you know, with any brand new motor. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a paper towel, we're going to try to scrape as much of that off of there as we can. All right, and then next time we do an oil change, we will have an idea as to how much more metal shavings are actually in there. You should see this slowly decrease after, you know, a couple oil changes. Okay, so we will put we're going to apply just a little bit of oil so this can slide nice and easy. And this is our new sealing washer. And then our secondary copper sealing washer. Okay, what I was talking about, what I did was, let me get it to focus here. You see how clean I got that? What I did was I cleaned it out really good with a paper towel, and then I took a little air, a little compressed air, and blew it in there with a paper towel in front of it so I'm getting a splatter. Okay, so now we have a clean drain plug. Alright, so now we can go put these back on the bike. We'll cover these with a little bit of oil and get them down to torque spec. This guy is 22 foot-pounds. Our secondary is going to be 133 inch-pounds. Okay, so let's head back out to the bike. Okay, so we're going to get over here and get our bolts back in. Pardon all the noise. My neighbors are loud as hell. Okay, so again we're going to cover this little O-ring in oil. There's a little sealing washer. Got a little bit of oil on it. We're going to get that guy started. And remember, take a rag or, you know, clean up this area around your drain bolt. The last thing you want to do is stick any debris back up in there. Okay, same thing with this other little secondary washer. Just a little bit of oil on him. A little bit of oil on the bolt. Don't use Loctite or anything crazy. Okay, we'll get this guy started. And now you may not have been able to see, but when I pulled the drain plug, oil kind of went all over on the side of this skid plate. So now we have oil up underneath the skid plate. So you can take the skid plate off and clean it up. Just try to dry everything up as good as you can. You know, expect that you're going to see some smoke in any spots where you didn't get the oil off the bike. Okay, we got that on hand tight. This guy's hand tight. Okay. Got some paper towels.
I said
Okay. Ow. Okay. Let's get the secondary. We can move our oil drain box here. Okay, we got that one snug. Now, our main drain plug. Okay, we got that one snug. Everything as clean as possible here. Dry this little area off. Okay, now we will get this primary down to torque spec. We are at 22 foot-pounds. Okay, double check your torque wrench. Got her at 22 good old foot-pounds. Remember, 22 foot-pounds is not much. Okay. That's it. It's 22 foot-pounds. Okay, now 133 inch-pounds for this little guy. I'm gonna go here, here, yeah, here, here. That's it. There we go. Time to add some oil. Okay, so if you come over to the right hand side of the bike, you'll have a little tab here you can twist, and that will open this up. This is where you're going to change this air filter, and this air filter is these two bolts here. This does just come off. It's very easy. There's a little, you can push one side, so I pushed that. That comes off, so we're going to take it off, just get it out of our way. Here's your oil dipstick, and you'll notice that if you check your oil, even if you got a full, if your oil's full, you won't see anything on your dipstick. It shows the minimum and max mark here. So you want it to be in the middle of the minimum and max. You definitely don't want it above max. And remember, this bike has a dry sump oil tank. So what that means is that you have 10 seconds to check your oil after the bike is at running temperature, or else it is not accurate. So don't go checking your oil while the bike's been parked, or fill up your oil, like we're changing oil right now. Pull out your dipstick and look at it and go, oh, I don't see oil, I don't see oil, keep adding oil. That's not how this works with a dry sump. Okay, and I will have a second video, like I said, in the description below. If you don't see it right there, it's because it's uploading. So we'll have a second video showing exactly how the proper way to check your oil. Okay, so we're not going to get too much into detail on that. I just mainly want to go over changing the oil. Okay, so we got a funnel we're going to use, and we're going to add the full 3.5 quarts. We'll put it back on, we'll take the bike for a ride, and we'll come back and we'll check the oil levels and see how things look. If we need to take some out, we'll take some out. If we need to add some, we'll add some. Okay, so what I've done is taken some alcohol on a paper towel and cleaned all around my dipstick. That would be the best thing you can do here. Just keep it clean so you don't introduce any debris into the oil. We're going to take the dipstick out. We're going to clean it up really good. Okay, we'll set the dipstick aside. Okay, we got a nice long funnel, make it nice and easy for us. All right, so now we're going to empty all 3.5 quarts into there, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I'll run a little time lapse while we get that oil added. I made you guys some music. Okay, so now we got our oil in there. Pull this guy out of here, clean that up and set it aside. Okay, we got our dipstick down here. So now we'll put our dipstick in here and see what it looks like. So right now it has oil on the dipstick, but once we start the bike and let it run, that oil is going to drain down into the dry sump. Let it run for a couple minutes. And we're going to watch for any leaks underneath the bike. Okay, so that is my official video on how to properly change the oil on the Can-Am Ryker. You can follow these steps on the 600, the 900, or the Rally. It doesn't matter. The only thing that changes on the 600 is your drain bolts are back further. Like I said, there will be a link in the description below this video on how to properly check your oil level. Okay, because it is a process. You have to ride the bike for 9 miles. And then when you come back, you have 10 seconds to check your oil. Okay, so you're going to pull the dipstick out, wipe it off, stick it back in, twist it all the way down, untwist it, and look at it, and that is your official oil level. Okay, so don't just go adding oil until you see it fill up on that line. Okay, that kit that you buy that comes with 3.5 quarts, that is precise. Like when we did that, it was literally exactly halfway up on the dipstick. Exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay. So anyway, and if you got a brand new Can-Am Ryker and you check it from the factory after it's been sitting in your garage and you're like, oh, that's short on oil, don't go adding oil to it. Watch the video that I have below. Click on the link in the description. It is a process to do it, but it will show you step by step on how to check your oil correctly. Okay, so thanks for watching. And remember, 66% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. So if you're watching this video, take the time to hit the subscribe button. That helps me out tremendously. Remember that I have sponsors and whatnot. I mean, that's how companies look at your subscribers, and they assume that that's how many people are going to view your video. So it's not accurate. So please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps somebody out. You guys have a good one. Peace.